Hey, what's up, Mr. Ippolito students? This is Mr. Ippolito. Today is Friday, May 23rd. I'm sorry I can't be there with you working on the 8th grade U.S. history benchmark for next year, but I leave you in the very capable hands of Mr. Painter today. We're going to be starting off first with the Union and Confederacy by the numbers. This is a crash course video, so this will be what you'll start off with. Mr. Painter, right before we press play, Mr. Painter, of course, is going to ask you what are the three things that we always do whenever we watch a video. So let Mr. Painter know what those three things are, and then you'll go ahead, turn the lights off, press play, answer the questions quietly, of course, and then when you're done, then I've already gone over this with Mr. Painter. You will talk about the answers with your elbow partner first. You take a few minutes to do that, and then come back together as a class and make sure that you have all of this. I will let you know that there is a possibility, I haven't decided whether or not what that's going to look like exactly, but there's a strong possibility that there will be an open note quiz on this paper the next time I see you. So just be prepared for that possibility, a brief open note quiz on the video notes on that. So that'll be in our next class. So you'll want to take really good notes here. And of course, make sure your name and class period are on there as well, just in case we decide to collect that. The next activity that we're going to be doing is going to be, it's going to be titled Abraham Lincoln's Speech DBQ. So let me go ahead and switch over to that tab. Let me click there. There we go. The three big things that we're doing for the end of the school year. The causes of the Civil War timeline. Most of you have already finished that. I hope that we've already started doing those presentations. We're going to resume those the next time we have class in our next class. That's the first of the three big things. The second big thing is the letter to the president. Some of you are already done with that. Some of you are still working on that. The last big thing that we are doing in this class is we're working on a DBQ, a document-based question. Mr. Ippolito, why are you making us write? It's so close to the end of the school year. Shouldn't we just watch videos and play silent ball? We might have time for silent ball the last week of school, but we got to get our work done first. The reason why I'm giving you a DBQ, and actually all of the 8th grade U.S. history teachers are giving this very same DBQ. It's what we call a common assessment where all the teachers do it. Mr. Sheridan, Mr. Knutson, Ms. Osofsky, and myself. We are giving this to you for a couple reasons. First of all, because we would like to give you some additional practice with writing. Second of all, in high school, you are going to see, if you have not yet practiced with a DBQ, document-based question, you're definitely going to see this again in high school. So here's the way it's going to work. Here's the overview. I'm going to go over this with you. And then once I go over this first page, then Mr. Painter is going to guide you through the rest of the process. If you have not yet, Mr. Painter, if you have not yet had handed these out to students, you can pause right now and do that. And once every student has this in front of them, you can read along as I am reading with you. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of the United States from 1861 to 1865, is best known for preserving the Union during the Civil War and abolishing slavery. We've already talked about that. His original goal was simply to keep the country together, right? But later that goal evolved, and he eventually saw the Civil War as an opportunity to create a new birth of freedom for all Americans, of course, including Black Americans as well, and ending slavery permanently. His philosophy of government was deeply rooted in the principles of democracy, equality, and constitutionalism. What I mean by that is he believed very deeply that all people, regardless of their skin color, should be treated equally. And he also believed that the rules should be followed and applied fairly to all. He believed that the Constitution was important. And when he became president, he felt like he had an obligation to make sure that everyone had equal protection under the laws of the United States. So in this, let me back up. He believed that government should be of the people, by the people, and for the people, emphasizing that, of course, political power comes from the citizens. I told many of you that as we were starting the letter to the president, that we're the president's boss, right? We are Congress's boss. The power belongs to us. This is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. That's a quote from the Gettysburg Address. Political power comes from the people, from the citizens. In this document-based question, DBQ, you will be asked to compare several of Lincoln's speeches to the founding philosophies of the United States as established in the Declaration of Independence. When I say founding philosophies, what I mean is The Declaration of Independence, when Thomas Jefferson wrote it, and I don't know if he realized it at the time, but the Declaration of Independence ended up kind of becoming our mission statement, the statement of our highest ideals, what we believe. So, a little background essay. Again, this is not like an essay you have to write. This is just background for you to help you think about this. The Declaration of Independence officially declared America's independence from Great Britain. You know that. In addition, the document listed a number of complaints against King George III, like these here. He has endeavored to prevent the population. He has obstructed the administration of justice. He has made judges dependent. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies. He has affected to render the military independent. He has quartered troops, mock trials, cut off trade, imposed taxes, right? Part of the Declaration was a list of complaints, a list of grievances against the king, building a case against the king. But part of it, and most importantly, explained a political philosophy that bound the new country together, inspired leaders before, during, and after the Civil War, and continues to guide our democracy today. I think there are many leaders in the United States who still believe in the Declaration of Independence and its ideals. I would argue it depends. I think there are some who maybe don't believe in the whole all men are created equal thing, but that's something we can debate at another time. I do believe that Abraham Lincoln believed that it had our guiding principles. Abraham Lincoln's speeches, particularly his House Divided speech. These are the three speeches you're going to be looking at. The House Divided speech, the Emancipation Proclamation, which actually wasn't a speech, but it was a written document that he spoke about, and the Gettysburg Address closely align with the principles of the Declaration of Independence. Both Lincoln and the Declaration emphasized the fundamental values of democracy, equality, and the role of government in securing the rights of the people. Lincoln frequently invoked the Declaration's ideals to justify his policies, particularly in preserving the Union and establishing and abolishing slavery. That is true. While the Declaration of Independence set forth the vision of a free and equal society, Lincoln's speeches sought to fulfill that promise. In other words, you take the words of the Declaration and you match that intention, our intentions, our goals, our hopes and dreams that we list in the Declaration, and now we want to pair that to an action. By invoking the Declaration's language and principles, Lincoln redefined the Civil War as a struggle for equality, reinforcing the idea that the United States must continue striving toward its fundamental ideas. You've heard of this phrase before. Some of you have heard of this. Blank speak louder than words. What things speak louder than words? It's actions. So Lincoln wanted our actions to match the words of the Declaration. We say all men are created equal. Let's actually put that into action. Because for Abraham Lincoln, the Declaration of Independence is like his North Star, right? His North Star, when we use this as a metaphor, we mean it is his guiding light, his source of clarity and direction amid uncertainty. The Civil War was a very uncertain time. But I would argue that Abraham Lincoln used that Declaration of Independence as his North Star, as his mission statement, to keep him moving forward in the most desperate times of the American Civil War. Okay, so here's the assignment. And by the way, just so you know, you're not going to actually start writing the 2 paragraphs today. Instead, you're going to be doing the research and the background work today so that in our next class, you can start writing. So here was the actual prompt itself. In this DBQ, you will answer the question, how did Abraham Lincoln use the Declaration of Independence in his Civil War speeches? You will choose 2 of these. The House Divided speech, which actually technically was a pre-Civil War speech, but we're going to call it a Civil War era speech for the purposes of this assignment. The Emancipation Proclamation, which did come out during the Civil War, or the Gettysburg Address, which was a Civil War speech for sure. So choose 2 of these primary sources. House Divided speech, Emancipation Proclamation, Gettysburg Address. They're all here in your packet as your examples to how Lincoln connected the war to the founding ideals of the United States as set forth by the Declaration of Independence. In other words, pick 2 of these 3 and match them up. How do the words of the House Divided speech match up with the Declaration? How can we see that Lincoln's thought process when he was writing and delivering the House Divided speech were guided by the Declaration of Independence, or the Emancipation Proclamation, or the Gettysburg Address? 2 paragraphs, so you're going to pick 2 of these 3 of Lincoln's speeches. You were right. A2 paragraph, CER style response, claim, evidence, reasoning, style response, answering the DBQ prompt. Each paragraph should focus on one of the speeches listed above and its connection to the Declaration of Independence. This is not a full essay. You do not need an introductory paragraph, a concluding paragraph. You're only going to write 2 paragraphs. So you're going to choose the first of the 3, and then you'll choose the second of the 3. And in each of these paragraphs, you're going to connect that speech to the founding principles as set forth by the Declaration of Independence. Okay, you may be asking, Mr. Ippolito, how are we writing this DBQ? It will be in Class Companion. When you hear Class Companion, you may ask the question, Mr. Ippolito, how many revisions are we going to be able to use the AI helper? So the AI helper ditto, I think we're going to turn that off, but you're going to get 2 attempts when you get to Class Companion. You'll get 2 attempts. The first attempt you will submit. The AI assistant in Class Companion will give you feedback, and then you'll get a chance for 1 revision, and then you will turn that revision in, and then that will be your final draft. So rough draft, final draft in Class Companion. I can explain more of this when I come back and I see you again next week, but just to know what to expect. Okay, so now the final thing. Let me switch here. Hey, it's Mr. Ippolito. Mr. Painter is now going to guide you through this. And you'll begin with the very first document, document A, which is the Declaration of Independence. So at this time, you all can go ahead and flip over, and then you're going to begin work. I don't know how far you're going to get today with Mr. Painter, but however far you get, that's great. And then I will pick it up and continue. Mr. Painter is going to let me know where you left off, and then you will continue until the end of this period, and then we'll pick up where we left off when I see you again next week. The last thing I want to mention is this. I know that today is the day of the Universal Studios trip, and so many of you do not have your backpack with you today, and that's okay because I have a solution. Please make sure, for those of you who do not have a backpack today, please make sure that your name and class period are written on the crash course paper. And even more importantly, because you're going to be doing a lot of work and annotating and highlighting on this paper right here on your packet, make sure your name and class period are on here, because at the end of the period, bloop, there are 3 baskets in the front of the room, and you are going to take both of your papers, put them together, and just drop them in the basket that has your class period. This is not turning anything in. This is just storage. This is going to be just like your temporary holding place. I will take good care of your stuff as long as you put it in the right basket. And your name and period are on both of these. I will take good care of your stuff until after the weekend, and I see you next week, and we should be good to go. I have already spoken for long enough. Thank you so much for your patience as you listen to Mr. Ippolito, and I look forward to hearing all of the stories of the great work that you've done today, and I look forward to seeing you after the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Thank you so much, Mr. Painter. Thank you, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.